this shit up.
What is your profession?
Hi guys, this is Djkhayle Pinoytv. Okay, and sana po okay lang kayo mga ka-DDS natin dyan. Ayan, please do support ang mga ating mga nasa maisog rally right now. God bless po sa ating mga kababayan dyan. Please do take care. Kasi alam niyo naman po maraming nananabutay sa inyo dyan right now. Ayan, charot-charot po kay Tatay Digong, kay VP Sara, kay Baste, sa mga kawani ng gobyerno na kampi po sa ating DDS supporters, kay Tatay Digong itself. And charot-charot din po kay BBM, ang administrasyong nangaharas po. O kani-kaninong kawani ng gobyerno na matitino naman dapat ang pinagagawa. Halata na po kayo. So sana po, ayusin nyo po kasi po baka mamaya iboto kayo ng mga mamamayang Pilipinong bumoto din sa inyo na bumaba kayo dyan. Ingat na lang ho. Ayan, Marcoleta tinanong si, sino ba to? Basorero? Sino ba to? Si Busero? Busero Jr. Regarding sino ba talaga nagmamay-ari ng West Philippine Sea?
When we remove all the reliefs, the original reliefs or remedies that the Philippine government should ask from The Hague, what happened? It is as if that we filed a complaint without asking the court to do anything for us. Meaning to say, the
Palpak. Palpak po yung pagko-complain ng Philippines sa Tribunal Court kasi nga ako, nagreklamo lang, purpose ng reklamo, yun lang. Walang action nga. Di wow.
complainant just filed the case, but the court is limited to just declaring something, but because we did not ask for anything, let's say asking China to leave the occupied islands or rocks or shoals in the Spratlys, we did not ask anything from the court. So what happened then with our petition?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. From the very beginning, we never considered asking the tribunal to decide on the matter of whether or not China or the Philippines own the feature. That was
Okay,
never
what
part.
did we
Ang bobo, no? Nagreklamo ka tapos hindi mo inano kung ano yung desisyon na paalisin ng China o Philippines. Wow, ano to? Balimbing ba to o bobo lang sadya? Alam niyo ba talaga ginagawa? Sorry po Pasensya na sa comment ko, opinion lang po yun. Huwag magagalit.
ask?
What we asked, Your Honor, is number one, clarification on the matter of the 9-dash line, that from our perspective, there was no legal justification for the 9-dash line. Second, we requested the tribunal to clarify the characters of the features, whether or not those features in the Spratlys, they number anywhere between 95 to 295, whether or not these features, especially those that are large, are rocks, low tide elevations, or islands. And then the third part of that is whether there was a destruction of the marine environment.
Yes, that is correct. You ask only for clarifications. Nothing more and nothing less. That is why
Clarifications. So, shoutout po sa mga kababayan natin Pilipino, ha? Hindi po nagsampa ng kaso ang Pilipinas talaga sa Tribunal Court. Ang inano lang nila, clarification. In short, confirmation amin ba to o hindi. Simple as that.
even if we won the arbitration, the arbitral court didn't ask China to do anything. Like the arbitral court didn't ask China to leave the islands or the rocks that it occupies in the Spratlys, some of which are being claimed by the Philippines. Isn't it so?
Your Honor, not exactly. We did ask for specific, number one. It was very important to clarify the matter of the reed bank, whether or not it is a continental shelf of the Philippines, or is it part of the exclusive economic zone of the features. And that's why it's very, very critical to prove the character of the features, because if these features were naturally formed islands, and therefore they would be entitled to the maximum entitlement of 200 nautical miles.
We know that. Who occupies the Reed Bank now?
Your Honor, Reed Bank is completely a continental shelf.
With
Ito ang hirap sa ating mga Pilipino, no? Pag tinatanong kung anong pasakal yung pang sinasagot.
which country is now occupying the Reed Bank?
Reed Bank is exclusively within the 200 nautical mile continent.
You are not answering the
O,
question.
diba?
And
You're not answering the question.
boom!
Ang loko, no? Pag tinatanong
Asking you which country is now occupying the Reed Bank?
The reason I answered that way, Your Honor, the Philippines, because it's below the water, Your Honor. You cannot have a structure.
Mr. Chair, the question is very simple.
I apologize, Your Honor.
Which
the
country
Philippines.
is now occupying the Reed Bank?
My apologies, Your Honor, the Philippines.
Which country are occupying some of the islands that are claimed by the Philippines, but the Philippines does not occupy them?
patay kayo dyan.
Boom!
Patay ka diha pag tinanong ka.
Under PD 5096, we claim that group of islands called Calayan Island Group. However, Your Honor, some of these features that we claim are not occupied by us. In summary, we occupy something like 9 features out of this group of features. China occupies something like 6. Vietnam occupies something like 26 to 27.
No. China is occupying some 20 islands. Vietnam is occupying some 20 islands. China 14, Malaysia 4, Philippines about 6.
O, diba? Nabuko kayo ngayon. Ang sakit pakinggan. Butata Pilipinas halos Onti lang talaga na-occupy tapos ang titigas pa ng mga mukha makipag-away sa China. Ano ba naman kayo? Instead na you're wasting your time on that, guys. Ito sa mga kababayan natin, no? Sa mga senado natin, no? You should waste your time na naglilingkod sa bamayang Pilipino. The needs.
Ang pinag-uusapan kasi natin ganito, kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng problema. Some of the islands occupied by China in this Pratt list are within the exclusive economic zone of the country, our country. Because China occupies some of those islands, and under public international law, they are entitled to territorial sea and their own EEZ. It happens that the EEZ of that island occupied of China intersects our own exclusive economic zone. Hindi ba?
Prior to arbitration, that may be correct. With the arbitration, Your Honor, that has been clarified. And that's why there was a very explicit categorical ruling on the part of the tribunal specifically saying that Reed Bank is exclusively ours. In fact, it even went to the extent of castigating China that they should not harass our vessels in Reed Bank.
I am not talking about the Reed Bank anymore. Yung sinasabi ko, an island occupied by China, which is within the exclusive economic zone of our country, intersects or overlaps with that entitlement of its own economic zone. Ganito yun China occupies one island, and because it occupies one island, it enjoys the territorial sea and the EEZ of that island it occupies. Tama?
No.
O, diba? Mag-aaway itong dalawang to. Magsasabunutan to.
Or, Your Honor, because the tribunal declared that none of the features were islands. In fact, including the biggest one, Ituaba, is just a rock. That being the case, under Article 121 of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, a rock will only be entitled to 12 nautical miles. And the low tide elevation, including Mischief Reef and Ayungin Shoal, are low tide elevations and therefore are not territorial questions, but they definitively belong to the continental shelf exclusively of the Philippines. That being the case, Your Honor, the previous overlap in the past between EEZs supposedly, theoretically, no longer existed, principally because none of the features in the Sprat list project 200 nautical miles. Thank you, Your Honor.
Haba ng discussion. Haba paliwanag. Doon din pala babalik sa 200 nautical miles.
Alam mo, hindi tayo magkakaintindihan pagka gano'n na sagot mo eh. The arbitral award even clarified that the ownership of China in those islands did not change their status as occupant in those islands. Ganito yun eh. Siyang nag-o-occupy and we cannot ask them to leave. Kaya ko pinipilit ito because the impression is that because we won in the arbitral we won in the arbitration, the China versus Philippine arbitration. Nanalo tayo. Ang buong akala ng mga kababayan natin, pinaalis ang China doon sa ino-occupy na mga islands in the Sprat list. That did not happen. You have to clarify this.
Thank you, Your Honor, for the question. If I may, regardless of who the owners of the features, and this is what the tribunal said, regardless of who owns the features, those features, regardless of who the owner is, will only be entitled to 12 nautical miles at the most if it is a rack. That being the case, none of the features, regardless of who the owners are, which is beyond the jurisdiction of the tribunal, because they are only entitled to 12 nautical miles, there is no possibility of overlap between exclusive economic zones, because in that situation, only the Philippine archipelago projected from the Philippine archipelago features are entitled to 200 nautical miles. The features in the Sprat list, none of them, Your Honor, anywhere between 95 to 295, including the largest of them, Ito Aba, is not an island, are only rocks at the most, and that being the case will only be entitled to 12 nautical miles. The consequence of that ruling, therefore, is there's no possibility of overlap.
Alam nyo, mga kababayan, mabobobo kayo, Tito. Mabobobo kayo pag puro English. Kasi po, marami pong mga kababayan natin, mga Pilipino, na hindi alam ang English talaga that much. Alam man nila, but they cannot understand what's the meaning of it. Ako, okay lang ako, naintindihan ko yung mga pinagsasabi niya. Kaso paano siya, paikot-ikot lang sa isang word.
This allowed, therefore, the tribunal to make a very categorical rulings, very specific, Your Honor, in the readback, which, by the way, before the arbitration, China was saying it's part of the disputed area, was no longer disputed. Thank you.
Okay, even assuming that you are correct that it has no EEC, but under public international law, if it is an island, it is entitled to two things, the 12 nautical miles and its own economic zones. Palagay mo, tama ka. What about the 12 nautical miles? Suppose China is occupying that island. China can enjoy the 12 nautical miles sea surrounding that island, isn't it?
If it is a rock, Your Honor, it will be entitled to 12.
Nasabi ko na nga, island nga siya eh.
Island nga. Not rock, it's an island. Ang kulit mo. Ang kulit na itong taong to. Pamera, nanggigigil ako.
Your Honor, the reason I'm very specific in the use of terms, because if I mention it island, definitely it will be entitled to 200. The reason I'm mentioning rock is to be more specific and technical.
Okay, it's a rock, so it's entitled to 12 nautical miles. O supposing China, as an occupant of that rock, which is entitled to 12 nautical miles, ipinarada niya yung kanyang mga vessels doon. And the 12 nautical miles overlaps with the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. Tama? Kasi nandun siya sa 12 nautical miles eh. This is now the problem because ang sabi natin, ang China, nandun siya sa ating exclusive economic zone. But, hindi natin siya pwedeng paalisin because as occupant of that rock or feature, Nandun siya sa 12 nautical miles. Tama?
Boom. Ano yan, sakit. Anyways, mga kabayan, ayan na nga po. Ingat na lang po tayo, mga kababayan. Shinare ko lang po to sa inyo para at least may knowledge kayo kung bakit po nagkakaganon sa West Philippine Sea. So, as you can see, wala talaga nangyari sa arbitral tribunal natin kasi clarifications lang po talaga. Hindi po talaga tayo nag-claim. So, nga. Alino talaga. Anyways, guys, God bless. Have a blessed day. And ingat-ingat po yung mga nagrarally dyan sa Maisog, Davao del Norte. Ayan po, this is Djkhayle na Mike. Okay, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Lots of love, mga ka-DDS. Bye!
What is your profession?